I want to introduce Carter Crary of Malibu Divers. Malibu runs all of our programs, has all of our dive programs, has for a number of years. And we like to give him a chance to talk a little bit, give you information about it. And it's something that even if the boys weren't thinking about doing any diving when they came, once they find out it's there, they develop interest in participating. So Carter, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out today. I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking a wetsuit and a snorkel might have been better attire the way things have been going. These sheets that I've passed out to you guys are sheets that you will find in your leaders packet as well. They outline the programs. Has anybody here been to Emerald Bay so you may have some familiarity with the
Yeah,
scuba?
we did the Discover Diving last year. And
Nice.
he signed up this year for
rugged scuba.
Rugged scuba.
There's the best testament I can give you right there. So anyway, these I'm gonna cover real quickly the programs that we run out there and sign kind of some key pieces of information. You guys all got a copy of my business card there. That has both Malibu Divers phone number on there. It has my email as well as our website. Our website is a great source of information for the programs out at Emerald Bay. I've owned Malibu Divers for about the last 20 plus years or so. We have had a now 20-year working relationship with the Boy Scouts running the scuba programs out at Emerald Bay. With the help of the Boy Scouts, we have built this into one of the largest Boy Scout scuba programs in the world. And it's just incredible what these guys do out there. So it's a very exciting program, and a lot of people don't realize that Catalina is actually considered one of the top 10 diving destinations in the world. So I would strongly encourage you all, even if your scouts do not do scuba, get them out there snorkeling. Let them take advantage of.
My son wants to do
He wants to do the
snorkeling.
snorkeling.
Yes.
Kind of terrified about the scuba, but
Well, and there's
that Discover Diving deal, man. They
This-
run it was 2-on-1.
Is
We
that the
went
one
Jake
that's the
Harlow.
half day?
that's the half day, and we're going to talk. That's the first thing we're
'Cause
going to talk
I wonder
about.
if he gets kind of scared doing that one.
Yeah.
One of the moms in our troop said she kind of panicked being
Well, and-
down so far for.
And I'll tell you,
so
you
long.
guys kind of being in the same neck of the woods as Malibu Divers, if you're ever interested or you want for your troop, we actually have a pool experience that we do at Malibu Divers. And we're actually working with a troop up in Thousand Oaks right now to set up a day. It would be about a 4-hour day in Malibu where the troop comes in. We would have to have a minimum number, but I think we would probably charge maybe $25 a boy or something like that. And it's an opportunity to try it in the pool. And it's a great opportunity for people who are a little unsure about scuba to try it and see just how fun and easy it is. So Malibu Divers has been over there for about 45 years now. We're one of the oldest dive facilities in Los Angeles, and we have Patty, our training agency's highest rating. We are a career development center. We do all the way from introductory scuba up through instructor level training. So, and we are affiliated with PADI, P-A-D-I, which is the Professional Association of Diving Instructors. They are the largest and most widely recognized scuba training agency in the world. And so out at Camp Emerald Bay, we literally train a couple of hundred boys every summer, boys and adult leaders, to scuba dive. And then this introductory program that was mentioned, we probably do between 300 and 500 of these every summer as well. So you can imagine over 20 years, we have literally certified thousands of boys out there. We have an absolutely immaculate safety record. The staff out there just does a great job, and so we we're very proud of how we conduct the programs out there. The minimum age for any scuba-related program at Camp Emerald Bay is 12 years old. And every year we do get, somebody who will call up and say, he's going to be 12 the week after he's at camp. And unfortunately, because this is a national scout policy,
Yeah,
we just can't. We have to abide by the rules that the scouts give us. There is also a medical form that is going to be included in each Scout's packet, and it's a separate, I'm sorry I did not bring copies for you guys, but it's a 6-page form, and it is separate from the Boy Scout medical form. It's called the RSTC medical form, and it is a scuba-related form. It's 6 pages long. What I need to stress to you all is, despite what it says on the form, anybody who is going to do scuba at Camp Emerald Bay has got to have this form signed by a doctor. Every year I have 2 or 3 adult leaders who actually read the form, and on it, page 1 is a questionnaire, and it says on there, if you have all no answers to these questions regarding your medical condition, no signature by a doctor is necessary. The Boy Scouts feel otherwise. They want anybody doing scuba for this to be signed. So page 1 is this questionnaire. Page 2 is the important one. That is where a doctor signs off. Pages 3 through 6 are guidelines for physicians who are not familiar with diving medicine to help them figure out if there is a yes answer, is it appropriate for a boy to go diving. Asthma and diabetes are 2 of the big real red flags. Asthma in particular can be, if it's anything other than very mild asthma, it can be extremely hazardous to go scuba diving. So my recommendation, because we do, for certain programs, we will sign boys and adult leaders up right at camp for that half-day program. And invariably, every summer, we have boys who come to camp who either didn't know about the programs, or they see how much fun these other scouts are having and they want to do it. And we are absolutely happy to sign them up, but they gotta have the medical form.
Okay.
So I would strongly encourage you, just tell the members of your troop, get it signed. Whether you're gonna go scuba diving or not, whether you think you're gonna go scuba diving or not, get it signed.
What is it?
It's called the RSTC medical form.
Now, will the doctor over there sign them off again this year?
Well, here's the thing. In theory,
I mean, if you get a last second one?
if the doctor is available and able to, yes.
Okay.
But we try to avoid that, just because it becomes problematic trying to get the doctor
Yeah.
to,
Because we didn't know about the program
Right.
going over last year, and then the doctor over there was able to sign it.
And this is the thing. You're kind of, because these doctors at camp are volunteers, you're kind of at their mercy, and this actually brings up a good point, because some doctors in this litigious society, they take one look at this medical form and they go, I ain't signing that.
Yeah.
Do we have to sign up for the little half-day class too?
We're going to talk about. So we're going to get into the specifics of the different programs that we offer right now, and I certainly will be available to answer any questions that you all might have. So the half-day program is called Scuba BSA, and this is probably one of the most popular programs we have out there. It is a 4-hour introduction to scuba, during which the participants, boys or adult leaders, actually get to make a scuba dive, generally to a maximum depth of 30 feet. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, so it's one of our staff with 2 of these people who have been given some very brief instruction and then are taken to the shallow waters of Doctor's Cove. They're showed some very simple uses of the gear, and then they get to go out and make a dive. Sign-ups for this program are made with Malibu divers. So
Okay, so
starting Monday,
Monday.
adults and adults can call in to sign up scouts in the tree. Usually it's parents signing up their kids. And so starting Monday, we will take those sign-ups. We take the sign-ups at Malibu Divers. The actual dive time, this is probably the question I get most commonly, is when do we schedule our time to go diving? You do that with my staff at camp. That way you come in, you meet with my staff, you say, here's the scout schedule with merit badges and all these other canoes and whatever else, and they'll say, okay, here's a time when we can take them diving. And I can tell you, doing 300 to 500 of these a year in 20 years, I have never had a scout, parent, or an adult leader complain that we could not accommodate their schedule. So we will find a way to make it work if they want to go diving. The cost of the program is $110. They basically need to have that signed medical form. There's some registration paperwork that we get to them, and otherwise they need to have a bathing suit, a towel, and a smile. We will provide everything else, and the smile is optional given that it's 14-year-old boys. They'll have a smile by the end of the program. I can guarantee you that. So that's Scuba BSA. The other program that we have for non-certified divers is a high adventure rugged program called Rugged Scuba. And this is a full-time scuba certification program. And this one, all of the rugged programs that we're going to talk about, the sign-ups are made with the Boy Scouts. And in fact, they are made on the same double knot site where you are registering your troop. That is where you would register a boy for Rugged Scuba. It is a full-time program, as I mentioned. They do not have time for merit badge programs or anything else. There is 14 hours of online study that is required prior to coming to camp. And it is approximately a $200 upcharge to participate in this program. To give you some perspective, this same program conducted at Malibu Divers costs about $1,000. And the boys not only get this online program, which has a value, well, the online program and the materials that go with it have a value of about $200. The boys also get mask, snorkel, fins, booties, and gloves that they get to keep as a part of the program. That stuff has a retail value of about $250, and they get a lifetime non-expiring, presuming completion of the program, which is about 98-99%, they get a lifetime non-expiring scuba certification issued by PADI, which is recognized around the world.
Patty's doesn't expire?
Excuse me?
Patty doesn't expire?
No. That's a common misperception that it does. Nobody's certification expires. All of them are lifetime.
I love my confidence in my certification.
Well, now that we're going to talk about that, because that's the deal. Yes, yeah. We preach personal responsibility, and if you haven't been diving in 20 years, obviously you need a refresher of some sort prior to getting into the water. But the certification itself does not expire. Boys 12, 13, or 14 years old participate in the exact same program. The program is called Open Water Diver. Boys 12, 13, or 14 will get what is called a junior open water diver card, which simply means that they have to dive in the company of an adult. When they turn 15, there is no additional training. They simply pay a processing fee and they get a regular open water card. So that's the open water program, full-time again. On an average week, they usually complete the program on Thursday, and on Friday they get to go make a dive with their instructor as newly certified divers. For certified divers, we have a number of different programs. For certified divers who just want to go diving, that program is called Discover Local Diving. These are guided dives for certified divers. Again, we need that medical form signed, and even if a person is a current instructor or Navy SEAL, and we have had both at camp, it is National Scout regulations that the dives have to be guided. We cannot just give somebody gear and let them go diving. So we have dives scheduled every day of the week. We schedule night dives during the week. We anticipate, again this year, offering boat dives as well. And registration, like Scuba BSA, the half-day program, registration for Discover Local Diving is made with Malibu Divers. So anybody who wanted to participate in that program would contact us in order to get signed up. A lot of these certified divers bring their own mask, snorkel, and fins at a minimum. If they want to bring additional gear of theirs, they can. We ask that they not bring tanks or weights. And if they don't have gear, we will provide it at camp.
I have one question.
Yes.
The rugged scuba.
Yes.
Is that, do you guys do it as a troop thing, or can individual boys from the troop do it?
That's actually a very good question, and yes, individual boys can do it, and in fact, I will take it a step farther and tell you that Rugged Scuba is the program that fills up, and that every year we end up turning boys away from this program. So not only can boys do it individually coming from a troop, and it is not uncommon that they do, but if your troop is going to camp on a week when, and the boys waited too long, and they try to sign up and the program is already full, if they want to, Emerald Bay will make accommodations for them to come a different week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Specifically to do, and they have a separate camping area where they take care of these boys who are not with the troop. So it is possible for somebody who really wants to get certified.
So the whole troop would come a different week?
No.
Or those boys would
No,
come
just
a different?
just those boys.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, you can talk to Mr. George about whether the whole troop would come. I presume you would not do that, but.
Yeah, okay.
But,
Yeah,
but a
that's-
boy can pick a different week
Okay.
and come. And so, and that actually makes a very good point. Any boy who is interested in this Rugged Scuba program, get them signed up soon. I already have weeks that are nearly full. So do not delay on that. Yes, sir.
And I've asked for that, the council to, we also have to correspond directly with Malibu Divers for the Rugged Scuba?
No, what happens with all of the Rugged Scuba programs, Rugged Scuba, Rugged O, and Rugged Rescue, which we have not talked about yet, the registrations are made on the Double Knot site where you are registering your troop. Starting in probably early April, I will begin to import all of the registrations for the rugged programs that relate to scuba, and we will then begin to communicate directly with those scouts and their parents. And it is important, every year I have a few troop leaders who, when they register their troop, they don't put individual emails for the scouts, they just put the troop leader's email for everything. I need to communicate directly with the scouts and their parents. So when you register these boys for Rugged Scuba or Rugged O, please make sure that you put in their email is most important, and also a phone number, because we will contact them and begin the process. We will send them a link that they will use to log in, register, and start this online program, as well as we send them an enormous amount of documentation about how to prepare, what to be doing, what to bring to camp, what to anticipate as a schedule, that sort of thing.
Just FYI, the registration is separate, so if you've got a scout that wants to take the program, you have to unregister them from the one and register them differently
Oh.
into the Scuba S. It's separate.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
camp,
I just went through that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I registered them all, and I said, this kid wants to go Scuba S, and then they
Well,
said,
see,
well,
we
he's
have-
gotta,
I
you
haven't
gotta,
put
it's a
any-
whole separate
I
registration.
haven't put any names in yet, we've just
Yeah. Well,
registered
no,
amount
if you
of
registered, you can't use one of those, it's a separate registration.
Okay.
Yeah, so just click on the Scuba S and register as that, cause he had to
Yeah.
go back and take it off of that, and put it on the other one.
And questions or problems relating to that sort of registration, you need to contact the camping secretary, Nick, not Malibu Divers. I can't help you with those registrations. So once you got them in there, that I can start to help you.
And that is, if it says rugged
Yeah.
in front of it,
Yeah.
that's ours.
Yes, sir.
A parent question I'm gonna get at, the Scuba BSA, that's one of those that's a uniform patch, that's a non-uniform patch?
Well, let me put it to you this way. Rugged Scuba it qualifies a boy, well, is the primary component for the Scuba Merit
Okay, so that is
Badge.
a MERT badge, okay.
Merit Badge is Rugged Scuba. You have to be a certified diver to get that Merit Badge. Scuba BSA, as I understand it, there is now some sort of a recognition patch or something.
Well, like a Daniel Boone patch type thing, or
There's a
Yeah,
little,
it's a non-uniform.
Yeah,
patch.
yeah, it's like a
So
mouse
little-
patch.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, that's what, all right, that's
very
what,
much like the mouse.
Right.
right, okay.
And as far as the scuba merit badge goes, a boy who is already a certified diver, who's going to either do the guided dives for certified divers, the Discover Local Diving, or Rugged O, which we have yet to talk about. A boy who is a certified diver can join our merit badge class at camp and get the scuba merit badge. He does not have to do rugged scuba and get certified with us. He just has to be a certified diver. So if you have any certified divers who are coming to camp that want to get the merit badge, we can help them with
But
that
can-
as well.
But I thought it was 14 for the certified, to be scuba merit badge, was I wrong?
No, it's 12.
It's 12? Okay.
12 is the minimum age for scuba programs now
Okay.
at Camp Emerald Bay with the Boy Scouts.
It was 14, okay, I'm not completely on.
No, it was a few years ago, yeah.
All right, great,
Yeah.
thank you.
So we've talked about Discover Local Diving. Rugged O is another high adventure rugged program. This is for certified divers who want to continue their education. This incorporates the next level of PADI training, which is called the Advanced Open Water Course. I will tell you that you do not have to be an advanced diver to take the class, and you will not be an advanced diver once you complete it. It is merely a way of broadening your education and getting more experience in types of diving that are not covered in the rugged scuba class. The boys get an opportunity to make a deep dive, they get an opportunity to make a night dive, they get to do a navigation dive, a search and recovery dive, a underwater naturalist, which is basically a fish ID kind of a thing. So it's a great way to go diving and learn something and come out with a new level of certification. Like Rugged Scuba, Rugged O, registrations are made on the Double Knot site. And again, spaces are limited for Rugged O. I know I have 1 week already that is already full. So it is, again, important that if somebody wants to do this, that they get signed up early. Rugged R is Rugged Rescue. This is a new program that we instituted a couple of years ago. This is really kind of the pinnacle of training for certified divers. We need a minimum of 4 boys in order to do the Rugged R program. So if you have boys in your troop who are already advanced open water divers and they are interested in Rugged Rescue, let us know. We're going to be maintaining kind of a wait list. And if we can put together one of these courses during the week that you're there, we're happy to do that. There is also a sheet that will be in your packet. This one here, partial day specialty programs at Camp Emerald Bay. These are a list of specialty dives that boys can participate in. If they don't want to do a full week of Rugged O, if they're already certified divers, and they don't want to do a full week of Rugged O, but they do want to get some additional training, these are dives, the things that we can do. Night diver, for example, digital underwater photographer. There's some really cool stuff that we can do with the boys that does not take the whole week. You'll see some of these are 2 dives, 3 dives. And then there are also, you'll see down at the bottom, basic life support and first aid and O2 administration and first aid. Especially the basic life support and first aid has been extremely popular. This is for non-divers as well. And it has been extremely popular, oftentimes among adult leaders, that we offer this course during the week for CPR, first aid. So this is another option for non-divers if you have people that need to get re-upped on their first aid CPR.
Question on this list, can these additional classes be signed up for upon arrival, or do they have to be signed up in advance?
It would be better to sign up in advance because it helps us to plan for the week. But I will tell you, my staff out there, these guys and girls are just some of the hardest working people that I've ever met, and they are real miracle workers when it comes to accommodating people. So what I would tell you is, while we would ask that you try to sign up ahead of time, if you were to show up and say, you know what, I'd really like to, I've got a scout who really wants to do peak performance buoyancy, we'll do our best to make it happen.
And it looks like from a footnote that parents would contact Malibu Divers directly, not go through the council for these.
Correct, yes, for these programs, you would contact us directly. So, and then I also, if you have older scouts, or, you know, we have had scouts who have come to Emerald Bay and done, as this gentleman's son did the introduction, the 4-hour program. They come back a year or two later, they do rugged scuba. They come back a year or two after that, they do rugged O. And we have a fantastic internship program out there for professional level training for guys or gals who are 18 years old, where they actually come out and spend the summer diving with us, assisting with our classes, and come away with the first professional level of certification, which is Dive Master. So certainly if you have guys or gals who are older, who are interested in that sort of thing, we recruit every summer for that as well. Let's see, we talked about the RSTC medical form. That really pretty well covers everything that I wanted to talk about. Are there any other questions on any of this? Certainly, if anything comes up, again, you guys have my business cards here. My staff at the store is able to register people and to answer most questions. And if you stump them, they will pass you on to me. And I'm also pretty good about responding to emails. So certainly, the one other thing I'll tell you, for anybody who has boys in the rugged programs, especially rugged scuba, this online program, and it is important to understand that this is we take this as a very serious commitment. Scuba is an extremely safe sport. It has a lower accident rate than bowling. But, hand to God. But that being said, it is also, if you do not follow the rules that you've been given, or you dive outside the limits of your training, you quite literally can kill yourself. And so we take this very, very seriously, and we expect the boys to take it seriously. So one of the first things they need to know is this online home study program. If they come to camp and they don't have it done, they are not going to participate in the program, and they're not getting any money back. So they need, and so for troop leaders, we have the ability to monitor boys' progress online. And every summer I will have a troop leader that'll email me and say, I've got these boys that are enrolled in your program. Can you check and let me know where they stand and shoot me an email so that I can come back to them and either say, good job, or you need to get on it, you know. And I'm more than happy to do that. The other thing I will tell you is that the vast majority of the boys do complete the program. Very rarely do we have a boy who does not take it seriously, who does not complete. We do occasionally have a boy, or an adult for that matter, who's going to make it as a certified diver, but they need a little extra help or a little extra time. And my staff will go to great lengths. I mean, extra individual sessions in the water to try to get these boys through the program. The great news is that if they do not complete the whole program, PADI, our training agency's system, is modular, meaning that a boy who does not complete the program with us at Emerald Bay can go back home and go to a dive shop, a PADI dive shop near them, and can complete the program with that PADI dive shop. So if they were not to complete everything at Emerald Bay, all is not lost. They can still come home. If you're close by, like I assume you guys are, you can come right to Malibu Divers, or we can certainly help refer you to dive shops that might be closer to your home. But that's kind of a last resort. Again, I would say we literally have about a 98 or 99% completion rate with the boys. So, any other? Yes, sir.
I'm already certified,
Mhm.
and then, so would I sign up, call you directly, like to dive with him after he gets all through the pro? How can that work?
Well, yeah, okay, so you actually bring up a good point that I forgot to mention, although we touched on it with this gentleman here. With regards to Discover Local Diving, you certainly can go diving during the week, but while your son is training, And usually, again, my staff is very accommodating as long as a request does not violate training standards or scout standards. If you were to come to them and say, I'd like to try to, presuming my son finishes on Thursday, I'd like to try to arrange to dive with him at the end of the week, they will see what they can do to make that happen. Now, whether or not you would dive with them when they do their fun dive on Friday, or they set something up separately for you guys, I can't say
That'd be
exactly.
over there.
Right, yeah,
Oh.
you would work with my staff over there
Over
on
there.
the actual logistics.
Okay.
Now, the other thing I will say about certified divers is every year, for this Discover Local Diving program, I have guys that come to me that say, well, yeah, let's see, I was certified back in 1983, and my last dive was in 1985, and so here's the deal. It is, as I said, a non-expiring certification. However, good sense dictates that a person get a refresher of some sort prior to going diving. And we, in fact, are going to insist on that. So you have two different choices. One is to go to your local dive shop or Malibu Divers prior to coming to camp and doing what is literally called a scuba tune-up or a refresher, which is a couple of hours in the pool that'll bring you right back up to speed and have you ready to go diving when you get to camp. Should you not be able to do that prior to coming to camp, what we will do is we will put you for your first dive in the Scuba BSA program, the half-day program for non-certified divers, because that's where we're teaching people how to clear a mask and how to clear a regulator and how to operate their buoyancy jacket and that sort of thing. So that would serve as your refresher. And then, having completed that, you
That's
would
what I
then
did
be
last
able to go ahead and do the regular guided dives.
Worked out good, cause it's 2 to 1. And
Well, my
once he
son's-
knew I was certified and figured it out, then it was a one-on-one with the kids.
Right.
Well, my son was
Worked out well.
12, so, he's gonna just be thrilled, so I'll just go through it with him.
Good,
and
perfect.
they'll-
Perfect, yeah. Yes, sir.
It's a question that may be related to the rugged scuba as well as the council. And I understand the rugged canoers and explorers, they would lead the troop upon arrival.
Yes.
So it's separate for the whole week.
Yes.
To what extent can my 4 rugged scuba scouts participate in camp activities? Meals, evening fires, that sort of stuff?
Meals, evening fires, they won't be able to participate unless a dive runs long. Then they'll still get fed. But
Just won't eat with you.
it won't be with the whole group. And evenings, they're pretty much all free.
Pretty much free,
so-
except for the one evening when we do the merit badge class. But,
So if one of the scouts is the SPL, he can still do most of his SPL duties, at least the beginning and the end of each day? During the
That
middle
will-
of the day, that typically
That will
merit
be
badges.
very difficult,
Okay.
because he's going to be, first thing in the morning.
That's right.
He's gonna be off
Yeah,
with the
it seemed
diving
like those
program.
guys were
That's-
there all day.
that's what I tell people is that in the rugged scuba program, from right after breakfast until just before dinner, they belong to us.
Okay.
This is part of
The one question I have, kids that might be interested in starting their scuba merit badge don't quite know yet, would this scuba BSA fulfill any of the requirements of the merit badge? If they wanted to start it?
Not really, no,
Okay.
because, I mean, only in the sense that, yeah, again, while it is not the only component, the primary requirement for the scuba merit badge is to be a certified diver.
To
So,
begin with before you even start?
I'm sorry?
I don't know anything
No,
about the merit badge,
It
so.
comes, it's together.
Okay.
And if you are already certified, as Carter said earlier,
Then you
then
then
they
you're
kind
doing
of
that.
check off part of the boxes.
Gotcha, okay.
right,
But
so.
if you have nothing,
Yeah,
Right.
Scuba BSA means that you have been diving, and when you enroll in the class, it's pretty well assured that you're going to move through it pretty seamlessly. But unfortunately, no. The other
I
requirements
just
for
know
the
they're gonna ask me that.
yeah, the other requirements for the merit badge, and I'm going kind of from memory, is we have them write an essay about a career in diving, and I believe there's a couple of other things as well. and we take care of all of that. We have, once a boy is signed up for a rugged program, we have a series of auto emails that go out to them from when they sign up to right before they go to camp. And included in Rugged Scuba is, this is what you need to do to be prepared for your merit badge class at camp. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, well, listen, thank you all very much for your time. I know you guys have a lot of stuff to cover. Again, please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions at all. And for the Rugged Scuba, any boys that are interested, please get them signed up right away, because, again, I just hate having people call me saying, is there any way you can get him in? And we have to say, no. Once it's full, and there's nothing we can do.
Thank you.
Now, does
Okay,
it-
Awesome
thank you
program.
all.
Does this one fill up too, or
Scuba BSA, as a rule,
does it?
no.
Okay.
We will have weeks where it comes awfully close.
Well, hopefully the week we're going is not too full.
Right, well,
We're going
and this
to
is
the
why,
4th
while
of
we
July.
can sign
That-
kids and adult leaders up at
Thank you,
camp.
that's a light week.
Yeah, we strongly encourage that people
Okay.
sign up before coming to camp.
Okay.
That way you are assured that you've got a spot.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you,
Carter,
sir.
Thank you very much.
We'll look forward to seeing you all at camp.
So for those of you who enjoyed the rain on the way down and may have been delayed a little bit, if you please be sure to sign the little blue pad in the middle. And I'm John George, I'm the Emerald Bay Camp Director. Whereupon we will go to the leader's packet, or whatever, that came out last evening. So I think there is one spot in here where we missed a date, and it still says 2013. Please ignore that. And what I'm going to do is kind of hit the highlights, the things that I get a lot of questions about or turn out to be a problem, rather than sit and read this whole thing to you. Re-emphasize the thing about the physical exam that Carter mentioned. There were 6 pages, and there is a sort of a good part. It's downloadable from our site. The last 3 pages are instructions for doctors, because a number of the family physicians who will be doing your physicals for your kids are not familiar with diving medicine. So the first 3 pages are forms to be filled out, questionnaires and that sort of thing. So you don't have to plan on writing 6 pages of material. But please, if your physician is not familiar with diving medicine, make sure that he gets all 6 pages. Along with the health forms, there are the permissions. Permission to treat, permission to have your son photographed, permission to shoot. In the state of California, it is a felony to anyone who furnishes a firearm to a minor without signed permission from the parent. So please be sure that they either sign or write no across that segment of the permission form. Merit badge registrations will be up shortly on the site. I've had a couple of commitment dates, one of which is the 15th of March. So let's plan on that. When we get down a little further, here it talks about, well, there's one of the, we missed the 2013 roster right there. The Coast Guard requires that the captain of any vessel have a complete manifest of everyone on board that vessel. Please, if you substitute, add, change, otherwise mess with the original registration, bring a corrected manifest to the boat. We're very happy to have you make exchanges to the extent that they are covered elsewhere in the literature. But we don't want to have a problem with the Coast Guard. If you have somebody who has to fill in, we frequently have LDS troops who have membership, leader membership, who come for half a week. Those arrangements need to be made through the Harbor Department. They need to come on Cat Express, make the arrangements themselves. It's a little trick, so if you'll have anybody who is in that situation who wants to come for part of the week, if they will contact Jesse.Wygonik, we will come to Jesse's email shortly. Everybody who is registered with Western Los Angeles County Council, we know is covered by insurance. I'm not sure if, does Ventura require you to have a separate insurance policy, or is that included in your registration up there?
It's in, the council provides it. We went to
They do.
Witsit last year, and I just brought along a copy of
Okay,
insurance.
that's
and
fine
that seemed
then.
fine at Witsit.
It is fine. Yeah, it's fine for us. Occasionally, there are still councils that go through a private insurance company and every
What form
unit
is that?
has to
Where would Vertigo Hills
register.
Council?
What?
Where would Vertigo Hills Council, so what form would that be?
They know, ask them for the certificate of insurance, and they will provide it for you. Medical records. You may either make copies and then not worry about having them returned. We will have to worry why we ended up with them. It is our practice to box them all up on Saturday morning, and as the troops go across the dock on their way out, they collect the envelope that has their medical forms in them. Please make a mental note that that's when they will be available, so that you also will remember to ask for them. Because once the boat leaves, they don't like to turn around for that.
Question on the medical form?
Yes, sir.
For the Jamboree, National made us all do these, like 20 pages computer entry to Texas. Do we just still use the downloadable forms that the doctor?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Really? All right. And I'm gonna skip the table of contents. Under basic facts, I want to cover mail under basic facts while I'm thinking about it. The mail to Catalina goes from wherever to Long Beach. From Long Beach, it goes to the airport in the sky on the island. They pick it up there and they take it down to Avalon. They resort it. They bring it out to Two Harbors and put it in our mailbox. The next day, whatever that is, we go to the mailbox and pick it up and have it back in camp about 4 o'clock. It took my wife 10 days to send a package that she sent like insured, because they had to stop and sign for it every post office it hit. Normal letters 3 to 5 days. We recommend that parents write their children on Friday before the child has left, so that on Monday or Tuesday they will receive a note from home. Anything sent after Wednesday will probably arrive after you have left. So that's just a little thing to mention to parents who decide to send, a huge box of cookies on Wednesday. Somebody will enjoy them. But,
It's like, oops.
yeah.
Now, if it gets there, like, say they decide to send it the week before, will you guys hold it?
We hold it.
Okay.
It's a good idea to mark
What
the
week?
troop number and the week as part of the address, yes. going here. What to bring? Did I miss troop items? Yeah, I think it flashed past. Here we are. It's a nice idea if you have a troop library to bring merit badge pamphlets, current. If they're not current, don't bother.
Don't bring them.
Right. We expect that first aid, and that means it really doesn't require a doctor, that first aid will be handled at a troop level. So be sure that you have at least Band-Aids and that sort of thing. Generally, our doctors prefer either a senior patrol leader or an adult to accompany a child when they have to come to the doctor. The normal office hours are after breakfast and after dinner until nobody shows up, then they close up and go away. A boy who has a sore throat for 3 days does not become an emergency at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 4th day. If he's gonna be sick, he needs to come in for sick call in the morning. If somebody cuts their arm off, we don't care what time of day it is. So please kind of keep in mind that there's a difference between emergencies and first aid stuff. Anything that requires treatment beyond simple first aid must be recorded and all the treatment listed and all that sort of thing. There, oh, okay, there we go. We have limited toiletries in the ship store. And it seems like the year that we stock up on toothbrushes, everybody remembers to bring one. The following year, we don't stock up on toothbrushes and they all forget. So please, personal items like that, make every effort to bring. Footwear. They will need some sort of footwear that they don't care about getting in the ocean. And flip-flops tend not to work because, first of all, they'll get stuck in the sand, and then when the person picks up their foot, they no longer have a flip-flop. A lot of the beaches are rocky. I do not go barefoot very often. It's very uncomfortable for me to walk on those beaches. So an old pair of tennies, a pair of Teva or Teva-like sandals, a pair of water shoes, whatever. But something that won't just fall off. And they're going to be carrying heavy canoes in and out of the water, so that adds some reason for carrying that stuff, or for having decent shoes. All right. Things to leave at home. It interests me that we have to write illegal substances on there. Valuables. We have young men who show up at camp with as much as $100 and occasionally $200 in cash. It is often reported stolen. Most of the time until the end of the week when they repack everything and find it in the bottom of their bag. What I recommend and have done with my own troop for years is that you get a little expandable folder thing. I don't know what else to call it. And you put an envelope in. You put an envelope in there for each scout, and you have an adult as a troop banker. Make sure that when put the money in the first place, the young man signs for it, and you initial it. And then when he takes it out, that he initials it every time. There are lockers available on the west side of the first latrine building, just past the store. We ask, there are, I think, 28 lockers, there may be 30, but we ask that a troop take only one locker, bring your own padlock. There are electrical outlets in each locker. You can charge a camera, you can charge a cell phone. If you charge a cell phone, please turn it off. Because Malibu campsite is right next door, and they will hunt you down. Because invariably, some drunk will call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. Maybe 3 times, because he couldn't get it right the first one, all right? And that's, so just, they're there for your use. Please turn off the phone. The rest of that's pretty self-explanatory, yes.
I missed back on what to bring to the scouts. You can bring a mess kit.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna back up to that because that's pretty important. We do, there were 2 things on there. The mess kit, yeah, you're gonna, uh-oh.
Persons at Wits that I know.
Yeah, that, they will do 1 overnight out of camp. The amount of paper goods that used to result from that overnight was enormous. So we simply said, everybody knows they're going. So in the way of a mess kit, some kind of a plate and some kind of a tool other than a knife. It's not good to eat off the knife blade.
Now
And a cup.
They're allowed to bring their pocket knives, correct? Or-
Yes. No,
There's no big deal.
So then, not a mess kit to cook with, just to.
it's not to cook with, it's just for
Plain
eating.
spork.
Yeah. Yeah. So they don't need to go out and buy the, $40.
Yeah.
It's a Dutch oven meal,
Okay.
so. And what was up there with it? It's interesting. Oh, sack lunch, first day. Probably your kids are gonna get up pretty early. Most of the boat times are around 11:30 that they depart, sometimes 12. But then they've got this hour and a half ride, so if they have a lunch, we do not serve lunch on Sunday. So their first meal in camp will be at about 6 p.m. And they're gonna get kinda hungry. We recommend that they avoid greasy food. All right. Yeah. I've gone and split my screen. Trevor, how do I unsplit the screen? This computer and I are new to each other. And it came with Windows 8.
We're going through that order right now.
Oh. View. Ah.
Swear I
Two
found it
pa-
once before.
Yeah, it was, yeah, maybe it's there.
There you go.
There it is, thank you.
No, that's
No, that's not it?
Here, we'll do this.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, thank you. Trevor is, among other things, our IT rep and knows all these things. Okay, onward. Okay, form requirements, we've talked a little bit about the medical form, okay, if it's, the key to whether it's Malibu Divers or us, is does the word rugged appear in front of whatever it is? Is there anybody here who's doing either Rugged E or Rugged C? You're
Rugged
doing,
E, maybe. I have a rugged E.
All right, then maybe
That's
just,
through the council part?
that goes through the council. That young man will generally not be available to you
Yeah,
for the week.
yeah.
He will be well advised to add a dry bag. Doesn't have to be an expensive one, but a dry bag and a day pack that is big enough to hold a jacket, a pair of long trousers, because they're going to do both one overnight canoe trip and one overnight sleep on the beach at Little Harbor, which is a bicycle ride. So he'll need to carry his own stuff on the bicycle, and a day pack seems to be there is a rack on the bicycle, but it will just about hold a sleeping bag. There is really no need for tents if you're out of camp, either at Parsons, which everyone will be for the overnight canoe trip, or at any of the other sites. There's just, the weather is usually pleasant enough that a sleeping bag is all you need. Not seldom in the middle of the summer, a little bit of dampness in June, but not enough to worry, enough of, to really worry, to make it worth the weight of a tent.
On the subject of tents.
Yes.
It says in Leader's Guide that every camp has some sort of shade. Does the troop should a troop bring an easy up? Or, or do you provide tents?
We do have just a tarp with poles holding it up.
Oh, for each camp?
For each campsite,
Oh, okay.
there's one. We've had some troops that want more than one shade area. Some large troops that really, one 14 by 14 or whatever that tarp is not enough.
What are the limitations on the boat going over for troop equipment?
For
For troop equipment, is it
It's
pretty?
tough, it gets pretty full.
Yeah, if you have a pretty concise box, troop box of some sort, we have troops that bring those. And I think I need to back up too, because I didn't talk about that. Yeah, troop foot locker size. Shouldn't be a problem. Please do not have anyone use external frame packs. We do luggage line. And when there are 450 people whose bags are on the boat, the boys go off the boat, the adults move the luggage. The way it works is that most of the weeks the boat stays outside the bay, and we put a big barge next to it, load all the luggage onto the barge, bring the barge separately up to the dock. The boys ride up in smaller shore boats, 35 people at a time. Then the kids go around and pick the luggage up from the barge, but the adults get to put it on. And it's not fun to get poked by one of the corners of an external frame. We also ask that you please do not allow hockey bags. Kids who play hockey have a bag big enough to put their hockey sticks in, okay? And so they'll put everything they can find in the house in that bag, and it'll weigh as much as most of the kids, and then they'll expect you to lift it. Then they have to carry it to carry it at least a quarter of a mile to get from the beach to the first set of tents. A lot of them solve the weight problem by simply dragging the bag. And when you drag the bag across gravel and dirt and sand for a quarter of a mile, the result is inevitable. So there is a size, yes, there is a size request in the literature.
A good note is I noticed last year that if you get a kid that packs his bag and it's really heavy, there's about a 99% chance that bag will get drugged through the dirt to wherever it's gotta get.
Yeah. So if somebody really has to have a lot of stuff, please let them bring
Yeah.
2 bags.
Yeah.
On the
If it's a
outside
heavy
of the
it'll
bag,
get drugged.
because all the luggage is going to get commingled, duct tape on both sides with the name, the scout's name, and the troop number. Because when we unload the barge, we line everybody up and they walk down one pier across to the second pier, pick up whatever bag they're handed, and take it out to the parade ground where we have signs with troop numbers on them. And they will put the bag by the matching troop number. Do not think that this much fluorescent pink engineer tape is going to identify your bag, because everybody else bought the same roll of pink engineer tape at Home Depot, and so it proves nothing. Let's see, size bag, identifying the bag, and no externals, right? Internal frames are fine. If somebody has their stuff in a backpack with an internal frame, that's not a problem.
See, I'm basically telling them to treat it like it's a backpack and they gotta put everything on their back.
Yeah,
So that's.
sure, if they want to be smart about it.
No, I mean, it's, like you said, you get that, I mean, even in the military, they have those hockey bags you're talking about with wheels on the bottom now, and it's like,
The
you
wheels
can't-
don't work. up
if you
there.
can't carry your own gear, you shouldn't be carrying, that you've got too much gear. So.
You gotta go a quarter mile through the dirt, and you're gonna hit one little bit of
And-
concrete.
and
then you're
wood
gonna be back
chips.
to it, And then you're gonna be back to about a mile of dirt if you're.
Two
at the top.
2 inches of wood chips.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure they got backpack and we're gonna do that if we do that.
All right.
Call that.
Senior Patrol Leader Training, we run a program. It's $200 additional. It starts on Thursday and goes through Sunday prior to the arrival of the troop. The objective of the program is we do about 40% leadership training, and it largely is supplemental to the NYLT material. If you have kids who've gone to the NYLT program, this will, to some extent, reinforce what they teach and add a few little extra tricks. It's about 40% orientation to camp, so that your senior patrol leader knows the inside scoop. Okay, they'll do a trip to Parsons. They'll do a little bit of hiking.
It's $200 more.
$200. So it's 40% leadership, 40% camp orientation, and 20% fun.
Can a scoutmaster attend with them, or is it just boys?
We have just had boys do it. I wouldn't, it's not like a secret thing.
It's a special, they leave on Thursday though, so
They-
they're there a week and a half.
They're there a week and a half. Right. Right. So when you arrive, they already know where your campsite is. They know where the rifle range is. They know that on Sunday, yes.
That's a question you mentioned, they know where the campsite, are we gonna know prior to leaving what campsite we have, or are they just gonna find out when they get there?
You'll find out when you get there. And the reason that I have to do that is because people's numbers change up till the last minute. And it's much easier to move a couple of boys than to move a couple of tents.
Okay.
The tents are all on wood platforms. Takes about 10 people to move one. I lost the thought.
With
all
the
right.
leadership training,
Yes.
would you recommend, I mean, our senior patrol leader for that week is gonna be the senior patrol leader who's been a senior patrol leader for a year. And I'm almost thinking with that training, we should have somebody who's stepping into the seat leadership for the next year, go through that.
If that were up to me, I would do that.
So-
I would have whoever's gonna be my senior patrol leader in the fall.
Right, to give them
Come
prelim,
through,
okay, so
yeah.
I'm on the right page, I'm on the same page, okay.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
We have had generally favorable comments about it, or we wouldn't. It's 5 years old, I think. now.
Like JLT or troop leader development, I mean, they've kind of evolved over the years and. I'm
Yeah, a
old.
little bit, yeah. Yeah, one of the things that I found, the new JLT stuff does not discover what they, or not discuss what, at one point, they called the 11 functions of a leader. Training, planning, evaluating, using the resources of the group. There's 11 of those skills for leadership, and they don't spend the time they used to on that. That's just straight mechanics of how to run an operation. So that's one of the big things we put in. Transportation, okay. Anybody have an odd situation with respect to transportation? Other than you're gonna show up at San Pedro and, all right.
One question on
Yes.
logistics there. We're still on the cusp of whether we go by a bus to make sure everybody gets to the right place at the right time, or parents. Can vehicles be left at San Pedro for the week?
Yes, at an exorbitant fee.
That's what I was afraid of.
It's airport parking, I'm sure.
$15.
Yeah, that was the last word, was 15 a day.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
And they're putting
You
in
pay $30
new,
an hour to park at the Statue of Liberty, so.
oh,
So $15 a day, I'm like,
Wow.
that's reasonable, that's airport rates.
well, I don't know, they're putting in all new electric gates and stuff to get in and out, so they may raise the fee. Yeah. We talked about the diving part.
Excuse, I
Yes,
apologize.
go ahead,
Just one-
anytime. Don't apologize, please.
With
just ask
that in
up.
mind, logistics of what time should people be there to pick them up on the following Saturday?
Have them call about halfway back on the cell phone.
Wise man.
That worked out real good last year. That's what we did.
We're about 45 miles out.
In
though,
the,
so,
in the
yeah.
neighborhood of
It's
two,
a
neighborhood of two.
2 hours, 2 hour boat ride, so even if you call.
Oh, okay,
if
so
you-
it's-
And there's one spot in the camp that your cell phone might work, it's pretty good. If
It's
you
by
got
the red
Verizon,
fire
yeah,
hose
if you-
box.
Yeah, if you have Verizon.
Yes.
It'll work pretty good there, but once you get on the boat going over, it seems to work a little better.
You get a little bit out,
Yeah.
when you get a little bit out, it still uses a tower on
Yeah.
the island, but then there's a dead spot
Yeah,
for
then
much
that
of the
dead
middle of the
So it's
channel.
about 2 PM though is the answer.
About 2, yes.
Okay,
They'll get you pretty close.
but we'll give it a touch base as soon as the phone works.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So
what-
really, the recommendation is to drop, not park.
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Merit badge registration, it says a little note here about blue cards. Pretty much everybody is trained now, yeah, that we don't do blue cards. We do blue paper. Blue paper, right. So you get a list by boy of all of the things that the boy has completed, and it's one list for the whole troop. Then you should get a sheet for each boy with the stuff that he's completed, and that would be the one that you either let him keep or make a copy of it and give him the copy for his own records. We have, I think, 2 years ago, we had a council that gave one of their troops a little bit of a hard time about the blue sheets, but we've kind of straightened it out, and everybody now is accustomed to that. So you don't have to worry about having your adult leader sign 175 blue cards saying, yes, all these boys are authorized. The fact that one of the adults in the troop has registered the kids in double knot for the merit badges is sufficient to say, yeah, they're approved. Our policy is to not give a completion when someone comes with part of a merit badge that's been done somewhere else. We will give you a partial for what we do, and then it's up to the troop committee to put the two partials together and say that, yes, now it's all there. And you turn in the advancement sheet anyway. Some councils still require the blue sheet or the blue card with the advancement sheet, but most of them just take the advancement sheet. So that has not caused anybody to not get the recognition they deserve.
Just so we're not reinventing the wheel, it's all the same as Camp West was last year, right?
Yes.
Same, okay,
Yes,
so, we've been down that road already.
all right,
That's-
Question?
yes.
So, at least in the leader's guide I downloaded about a month ago, there was a merit badge list, but not a merit badge schedule.
It's coming up,
Okay.
and this went up last night,
Okay, very good. That's
So-
all. So camp, MLB website?
yes.
Thank you.
Merit badge difficulty, we have found that 11-year-olds have a less than 10% success rate with archery merit badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they moved it back. Yeah, the people need to be aware of that.
Yeah, you know,
Wasted a
they-
year and a half trying to get it.
You can sign them up,
Yeah.
but it's a sad thing for a little boy, 11 years old, to spend his entire week.
Chasing targets. Same thing with shooting. All the shooting merit badges.
Yep.
Too good of an opportunity to do other things, I think.
Yep, so we've kind of said, on the average, that these are the age groups that best fit those merit badges. We had one 11-year-old show up for shotgun merit badge a couple of years ago, just to prove that there is an exception to every rule. Little tiny guy said, I want to take it. And they said, well, all right. So he got into position, and any of you know anything about shotgun shooting, you're supposed to lean into the gun. Yeah. He had to lean way back like this just to get the barrel up in the air. And he pulled the trigger, and it knocked him back 3 steps. He broke 24 skeet in a row. His dad had been taking him shotgun shooting since he was 7. And so we just went, okay,
So with every shot, he
there
would
are
fall back.
exceptions.
I have a
So,
question.
yes,
Okay, like, and this is specifically for my son.
all right.
It's environmental science. He is 13, but he has difficulty with writing in school. And I noticed that it says report writing for level 3A. Is there a lot?
Not a lot.
I've only seen one requirement on environmental for report writing. I was wondering if possibly he could do that
say
before he
bring it
goes
with
to
him, yeah.
camp. So it's not a struggle
It's
for
a way to
him,
get through my
or
stuff.
somebody there to help him with it.
He can do that. He will have to sit down and discuss what he's written
Okay, yeah.
with the
that's fine.
counselor.
Okay.
Yeah. And we make a lot of accommodation for kids with whatever. We 3 years ago, we had a young man who was legally blind who wanted to get rifle shooting merit badge. So they used a skeet with an orange center because he could distinguish the color. And they attached a mailing tube to the top of the rifle. And he completed the requirements. So I think he had like 10% vision or something, but it was enough to do that. So
I'm in the National Guard, I may use that for some of the some people I can't get on target.
actually, that tube thing,
The tube thing's
not a bad idea. So we make accommodations for just about everything, as long as we know that the accommodation needs to be made. A lot of kids are dyslexic, very shy about
Yes, he
admitting it.
has- Yeah, he has
Um,
mild dyslexia.
we-
So what do? We put that, send him with
In the
the
medical
note or with the report?
Just have him tell,
Okay.
just have him say to the counselor privately.
It's like,
Okay.
Not, you know, hey, hi, I've got it, but
Right.
my son's struggling with a lot of that, and he'll
Yeah.
do it on the computer, and literally, we had, of all things, religion teachers arguing with him, these aren't your thoughts, and we'll sit down and talk to him, they are too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so,
Yeah, he's
but
good
yeah,
at
as long as he can
verbalizing
discuss the
it.
material,
Right.
yeah, then,
Yeah, he'll be able to convey it.
that's how I would handle it with my
It's
son,
just-
absolutely.
It's horrible with writing.
Yeah.
we do written tests in the shooting sports
Okay.
because we have so many kids that it's the only way we can figure out, and safety is so important. It is usual for us to do an oral where the counselor will read the question, and then the kid can answer it, and that works out fine. We can't, obviously, with 32 kids in the class,
Yeah.
we can't do that with all of them, but
But if 30 pass the first time, then you spend the one-on-one time with the two.
Right.
You've narrowed your field. You haven't just cast
And,
aside.
and the objective is to expose these kids to the opportunities for hobbies and life choices, and I don't care how mad Steven Spielberg got. He got photography merit badge as a kid, and that's what launched his career. So,
That's always a great example, because his father's camera didn't work, so he got a photography merit badge with a movie camera.
yeah,
Yeah, and that was his first movie.
yeah.
Oh, that's
But it-
cool.
So that's what we're there for. And we will do everything we can to help someone who is willing to put the effort in, just like Carter was talking about his staff. I have seen his staff work with a kid as many as 4 or 5 or 6 extra sessions beyond class on their own time to get him through the badge. And
You should do okay there, because we did extra work with them last year, summer camp for communications. But
yeah,
as long as you sit down with them and give them.
and again, we have to know, so let your parents know.
Okay.
Do you have recommended? I mean, for us, I mean, like, with us, with swimming, the guys jumped in the water, Whitsitt, most of them got out and said never went back to the water again, it was too cold.
Yeah.
And they just sort of scattered the wind. Do you have recommended merit badges for first year there and first year? I wanna kinda take advantage of the opportunity of Dark Catalina, like small boat sailing and things of that nature, as opposed to,
Yeah, I like canoeing and rowing. Small boat sailing's a little more technical,
okay.
takes a little more work. If you have no experience with a sailboat, it's
Stay
gonna
away
be
from
tough. For young kids, the mammal study, nature, good introduction.
They have a program over there that's not a merit badge, that is they can have.
Trail
that
to first class.
Well, that aquanus.
Oh.
They're gonna have that aquanus.
We've got BSA naturalist, BSA aquarist.
Yeah.
It's not a
yeah, there's
merit
one
badge,
where
but
you
it's
keep
probably
a-
the best thing that those kids did over there last year was that.
They keep an aquarium, was that the
where They
one?
build that aquarium,
Yeah.
and then they tell them, oh yeah, you're gonna go down there and you're gonna catch fish, and I'm like going, right, okay, this is really gonna happen, and then they go down with these little fishing nets, and they go down there, and they fill those aquariums with fish and
Cool.
stuff. We got hermit crab, I mean, those kids caught everything. It was, all the kids that didn't take it were down there trying to catch the fish to help them finish their aquariums.
You have to keep the fish alive to the end
Yeah,
of the week.
but I mean, it was not a merit badge class, but it was probably the best class that the younger kids.
Well,
I'm
it's
really
experience
glad to
with
hear
the
that.
environment they're at, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about,
But I mean,
yeah.
that was,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
good.
Exactly.
But it was aquanus or something?
Yeah,
Aquarius.
Aquarius, yeah, Aquarius.
Yeah, I stumbled over that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 3, I think, that we made the requirements up for kids that have a lot of merit badges.
Yeah.
And so it's like a deeper look at that one in particular. Saltwater aquaria are pretty hard to keep.
Yes.
And so if you can keep a saltwater aquarium, you can easily keep a freshwater aquarium. So they spend the week putting it
Catch
together,
fish.
not all day, but,
Snorkeling or just swimming?
Just swimming, snorkel masks.
yeah.
I mean, little teeny nets. They were
Yeah.
catching fish this big.
Now, should they bring I apologize, should they bring snorkel masks or anything, or there's plenty out there?
I'd like it if they brought them, if
Don't
they
snorkel.
own them.
Don't snorkel and mask,
If they already own it,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
and the fins will be there if they need it.
yeah.
But I'm assuming up for the volume.
My
they
feet are
kinda know.
picky, I want my own fins. Yeah.
Okay. I know under the merit badges for canoeing, life saving, you have to have the swimming merit badge. But
Yes.
as far as the activities, like, I see the canoeing has an asterisk, so you have to have your swimming merit badge to do the activity,
To do the merit badge.
just the merit badge.
Yeah,
Not the activity.
right. My troop may their troop activity for May is swimming.
Okay.
So we go to a pool, public pool, and pretty much everybody finishes in 1 or 2 evenings, finishes the swimming merit badge.
Oh,
So they all come with it,
if they, yeah.
if you can do it. I mean, the troop just meets there, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
And then the older kids that have already got those help with the instruction and,
One merit badge counselor there and get it done.
right.
Good idea.
So that probably is the best way. Everybody takes a swimming test.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
know
for the,
I was
for,
just wondering, that, you know, as long as, because some of them, like you say, the newer scouts or younger ones that don't have the swimming merit badge, then they're kind of, if they could still do some of the activities.
as long as they pass the swimming
swimmer's
test, they can do the activities, right. For the merit
Wasn't real
badge,
clear in there, so.
yeah, oh, okay.
Well, but, yeah.
Yeah, because, and then, from what I understand, especially if they're not a real confident swimmer.
Right.
You know, like at Whitson, our boys jumped in and it was cold, they got out. And they went back and got a trask at the pool, you know, so.
It's cold.
It's cold.
We went to Camp Wolfsboro last year, but that water was.
That water was cold.
I gave
My
the
feet
kid,
turned purple.
I gave him a whole lecture, take your time, don't swim fast. I jumped in, I was like an Olympian, because I was wanting to get out.
Yeah, it's water.
The water's not bad in Catalina, it's cool, but I had 4 kids do the sea lion swim every day. And they got through it.
Well, that's the first thing in the morning, like,
Yeah,
pull over,
6
like,
Yeah.
AM in the
And
morning, jump
we-
in, swim.
Oh,
back
no.
out.
that'll be my son, just to make me get up. That's what
We named it the Sea Lion Swim because it's not cold enough to call it a polar bear.
No, it's not.
So-
It wakes you up in the morning. I did
Yeah.
it with them.
Yeah, that's what
It was
I'm sure
good.
I'll do. I didn't do it last year with them. They all the beaver swim or something at Whitson.
There's some material on here about
For
prerequisites.
both of us.
They need to bring the prerequisite form to the class with the stuff signed off. Yeah, and then we just detail, and here we go with activities list. Okay, now this is the general schedule
Yeah,
in here. Oh,
I have to print it out again.
yeah. How'd we
And
undo
then
that?
split again.
How'd we undo it?
I
Show
just-
me where you did it.
Hovered over there.
Oh, yeah, and then brought it down.
Yeah, you might have to hover in the middle there. There you go. Click and drag.
Right, all right. Now watch me split it again. I can do this very effectively. Okay, this is activities. You'll get another run at this one at the leaders meeting on Sunday. One adult leader, please, as soon as they get off the boat. So have one of your adults plan for them to be on the first boatload of people who come off. And they will announce that. But that gets us into the leaders meeting where we can touch on all this stuff, and all the people that have not come today will get to ask their questions.
I apologize for going backwards,
Sure, no.
but the camping prerequisite,
Yeah.
is Sentinel Peak, does that count as 9B, the 1,000?
It does.
That's,
Yeah, I checked the height on that.
all right, I
Oh.
did, yeah.
I checked the elevator, yeah. it's
I was gonna assume, but while I was here, I read
Yeah, we
it.
did that
I
last
was,
year. so-
I was gonna ask Trevor. Trevor's a Camp Witsit devotee, yes. And so, okay, so there's the activities stuff. I wanna make a point about the activities. On Sunday night, all the SPLs get together and decide what they wanna do, what the troop wants to do in the way of a bicycle trip, short bicycle ride, a kayak experience as the troop, a snorkel experience, and 2 or 3 other things. And that, so we can schedule everybody in who wants to do it. A few years back, we had a terrible complaint from an adult leader about Wednesday. He said, I see all these other troops doing fun things like kayaking and snorkeling and biking, and we're not getting the opportunity. What kind of a place do you run? And so we inquired into it, and his SPL went to the SPL meeting to sign up for things, and he didn't like water activities, and he hated to bicycle. So he failed to represent the group. He represented himself and signed up only for what he liked. So we would suggest that you kind of look at the activities page with your kids, let them make some decisions about what they want, and make sure that the senior patrol leader, when he comes to this meeting, knows that he's representing the entire troop, not just his own,
Sure.
not just
That's on
himself.
Sunday evening.
Sunday evening,
Right.
after dinner,
Do we
yeah.
go to that with them, or that's SPL by themselves?
We ask that the SPLs come.
No
And,
adults.
and we would prefer no adults.
Okay.
People keep wondering if we're doing something secret in there.
That forces the boys to step up, that's.
It does.
That's nothing wrong with
It
that.
does. Those of you who have seen our schedules before, in the past, we have had 5 sessions. They ran an hour and 15 minutes. Was a little bit long for most kids, a little bit long for some of the instructors. We have cut the sessions to 1 hour with a small break in between, and added a session, which means we can reduce the size of classes a little bit because we're able to offer it more times. So that's on the next page after the activities. It's times when classes are open. And this, I think, is week 10 only, which isn't gonna happen. The week 9 has a whole lot of more open sessions. Yeah. Okay, Emerald Bay activities, brief description of the things that are in that previous form, what's involved, so it gives you a better idea of what you're gonna sign your kids up for. Just things that it's good for you to read before you get there, so you have a better idea. Camp contact information. Jesse.Wygonik, the program director, is the person to whom you should address questions, comments. Complaints come to me, please. What other questions do you think of?
The
Yes.
registered, I heard that we get like the list of merit badges the boys wanna take, and we can put them online, is that correct?
Yes, you will register your boys online. Yeah. We noticed that on Monday, we find a lot of kids whose best buddy is taking something else. So we shut off, I think, Monday noon, were you there for that?
I think we do Tuesday. at
You
Woodside.
did, and Monday at Emerald Bay. All right, you can make changes on your own list up through Monday, and then Monday afternoon, we print out the list. After that, they just put in a form we call our clerk the purser,
Okay.
gives it a more nautical.
Yeah.
Well, the other question I have
Yeah.
about inputting online, are you inputting for those sessions?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
specifically? Okay.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
see, they filled
merit
this
badge
out.
and session.
No.
Yeah.
Do you guys provide like lodge poles and ropes to make like entrance gates or camp gadgets and things like that?
Yes.
So we don't have to schlep that stuff over?
All our poles are those peeler poles from Home Depot that you stake,
Yeah, the lodge.
stake trees
yeah.
up with. Yeah, so they're all 8 feet
So
long.
we can get some and some.
But you can get
rope
them,
and-
yeah. You wanna fence up, flash up a fancy entrance gate, sure.
Bear bags and all that stuff out there?
No,
Okay.
the biggest predator is the island fox,
Buffalo?
not a predator.
Because all he wants is all the candy out of the tin.
Yeah.
The foxes are a nuisance,
Okay.
because if you have any food in your tent at all,
They'll be in.
they will come for it. And once they come in there, they're likely to get up and sit on you, on your sleeping bag. And when you wake up and look at them, it startles them.
Oh, and then they do the.
And they have involuntary sphincter accidents that leave us washing sleeping bags from time to time. So we suggest that you do not allow any food at all in the tent,
Okay.
okay?
If they want it, they outside of it.
Yeah, and the number of kids that don't pay any attention,
A
sad.
lot.
It's better,
You say business.
Yeah, what was the,
what?
what was the animal?
What's that?
The fox,
Oh.
the island fox. They're smaller than house cats.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Okay.
They're very, they have been very shy. They're getting a little more bold as their numbers increase.
So if we bring a troop box or something, we just go throw lots of restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to have
More than a bear,
pigs,
that's all
I
extra.
don't want your ammo back.
feral pigs that stand like this high at the shoulders.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll bring an animal box, I'll give an animal box.
And I've seen
Put all your
kids
candy in your-
who thought they were clever by putting their candy in their sleeping bags and zipping it up while they were in there.
Oh.
I've seen the pig dragging their sleeping bag down the street while they scream. The pigs are gone now, and it's
Pigs
kind
are
of sad
eradicated.
because it was really fun to watch. Okay, so there's emails, telephone.
For the leaders who've been there before, do you tell us something you wish you knew before you went the first time, or what, something, I mean, just, I know it's an open-ended question, but we have 10, 11, 12-year-olds that are, some of them been to Whitsett, some of them never been anywhere.
Don't let them call home.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, don't let them call them. Oh, did I mention medication?
No.
Yeah.
Because when you talked about that, it reminded me. We have refrigeration facilities. Some medications must be administered by a physician. So that's done during
Sick calls.
that sick call. If it doesn't require administration by a physician, I recommend that you, like appointing a troop banker, that you appoint a troop adult
We did that.
to
Physician.
collect the meds.
Pharmacist.
And I can make remarks about this because I have ADD. People with ADD tend to forget to take their medication. So
like funny in a very warped way.
Yeah.
Make sure you
So
don't.
we
miss
by
the,
Thursday, you will know which of your boys did not take their meds. But if you assign somebody the responsibility of giving the medication
did that.
and log it.
Yeah, we did that last year. The only thing you can't take from them is their inhalers.
Right, they have to keep the inhaler and the EpiPen.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
But see, in mine last year, the parents gave them one and gave me an inhaler.
That's a good
But
idea.
That was smart.
They're never gonna lose it, they
Yeah.
come to me for it.
That's smart.
And when we went to Sentinel Peak, I carried extra inhalers. So, just in case the boy got up there and decided, guess what, I forgot.
Yep. Hiking up a
Question going
steep
back
hill.
to Merck.
Please.
At Whitsett last summer, making the changes, we struggled because of the lack of a lot of bandwidth connection, because we're making the changes early in the week via that sketchy connection back to the computer here, I guess. And so it was a little bit of a struggle. Is it similar to that at Emerald Bay?
It's the same bandwidth, but the connection isn't satellite at Emerald Bay, although it still uses a microwave link across the bay. So it's better, but it's the same,
Is
roughly
it-
the same setup.
Does it come here?
No, it
Goes
goes
to-
to a hosting service in,
Oh.
I believe, the Bay Area.
Okay, okay.
And the related question is there a laptop that a leader can use occasionally to communicate back to the parents, that sort of thing?
We have a building referred to as the Helm. It has 3 desktops and a number of extra ports. If anybody has a laptop and wants to bring it, they can plug in. We ask that people do not do streaming because, as Trevor said, we have limited bandwidth. But it's not unusual for a leader to take a half a dozen pictures or a dozen pictures of the day, and late at night when there's nothing going on in the office,
Understood.
want to send them, that's great.
How about, you said Verizon, if we go to that flagpole with a tablet, is it gonna work, or?
They kinda, it's just hit and miss. Verizon seems to work the best right there at the corner of the helm,
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, by the firebox, yeah.
Right there.
Sprint works very well on cloudy days.
You gotta send
Otherwise,
Verizon
you
commercial.
open your phone and you look for the bar thing.
You're
you
showing
know.
your age if you're saying open your phone.
He's like, that's what I want.
That's antiquing.
This is the one that you take to the, well, all right, I started. You take this one to the bar, and then you get the big schooner of beer and put this one in, and charge everybody $1 for phoning, making it ring and do things. So I'm technologically current. I got a waterproof phone.
That's nice.
Doesn't float though. Anyway, what was that? Yeah, you have to walk around with a phone and look for where you get the bars, and it varies from day to day.
I just, like last year, we had no problem every other day sending an email back to the parents from Whitsett. It just seemed like mid-morning, there was a lull. Boys, when the boys were all doing something, you could get in there and
Yeah.
2 or 3 people in line. But the best thing to do, I think, is just tell the parents there's gonna be no communication. And if they get any, then they consider
They're
it.
very
Wonderful.
excited.
Can't we want to
Yep.
know?
Pretty much, people who have 4G
Canyon in the
networks
Sierra, forget it.
have a whole lot more accessibility from camp. So if you're due for an upgrade, might be a nice time to
Yeah.
do it. All right, any other comments, questions? I really appreciate you people coming down.
The senior patrol leaders, like the canoeing, the war canoes over to
Mhm.
Parsons Beach, that's all, the senior patrol leader signs all that up? And is it in that
The,
activity deal?
the only thing they don't actually get to argue about is the war canoe day.
Yeah, they assign the day, right?
Yeah, we do assign the day for that, right?
Is that a man, can you opt out of that, or if they don't, because most of the kids have already done it, if they don't wanna do it again, or is that just something they do for standard on like a second trip? I mean, I don't,
You can opt out.
oh, okay, not that I would, I mean, it's pretty fun, I mean, the kids dig
Yeah,
going out there, but.
one of the things that shows up on our appraisals is it's effectively, what was one of the things that caused troop bonding?
Yeah,
And the war canoe trip is
Oh, yeah, it's
always
fun.
mentioned as something that, because you're putting 6 or 8 kids in a canoe,
yeah.
and then they have to make it go somewhere for an hour and a
Through
half.
waves.
Yeah,
Through the
with
ocean.
some degree of
It's pretty good.
instability. So it kind of promotes teamwork,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's miserable sleeping on the rocks, and,
yeah.
We-
but, yeah.
If we have a scout that's not a swimmer, are they gonna be able to go on that with the life preserver, or
They
is
can
that?
hike around, they can go.
It's a secret.
Oh, is that a secret?
Yeah. It's an hour and a half to paddle in the canoe,
Mhm.
and 20 minutes if you're in good shape to walk,
Oh, wow.
okay?
All right.
So non-swimmers walk,
Oh, so now someone's don't go to those.
no.
I guess.
All right, on the other side of the coin, then there and back, does that qualify as a trip for camping Mirabedge, taking a non-motorized trip?
I don't know, nobody ever asked.
That's a good question.
Cause it's a good, it's.
I think it's in 4 hours or 5 miles or something like that. I was gonna count whitewater rafting on the Kern last year.
It's 2 miles
It's 2 miles.
at the outside.
2 miles each way,
Yeah,
so it's probably right on the cusp, but well,
Yeah, it's right on.
We'll put a throwback back in anyway.
anything else? Yes?
Okay, on the scuba, BSA scuba, on the merit badge, the
Yes.
session, it's blacked out. So
Yes.
do they just pick them whenever time, or?
Yeah, the scuba BSA, you sign up with Carter.
He said they'd
I
find
know,
out.
but like,
And-
how do we know whether it's not gonna interrupt with their merit badge?
It will.
It does, and they just.
And they make it up?
They
Oh, okay.
compensate for it.
They have to work a little harder,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah,
The
they
merit,
know that they're
the,
gonna miss a session of merit badge class to do that BSA thing.
Scuba.
And then the kid, you just have to tell them when you're doing it, and then they'll make it up. They'll help
Okay,
you
so-
make it
We're
up.
already making up the work in a day,
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
so,
A lot of makeups in this case.
yeah.
Next to that seems to be the.
Yeah.
But it's the only way we can offer the activity.
Okay, that's what,
Anything else? I'll be around all week next week. They haven't threatened me with termination yet, so. If you have any questions, that extension number 42, that's at camp. Here, they moved me from office to office,
okay.
so it's best to just dial the
We'll give you whatever
office
closet's open
number
up
and
there.
then ask for me and they'll hunt me down. Yeah.
Will this PowerPoint be on the website or?
This is, I downloaded the leaders guide, that, or the leaders package. So that's where this came from. I just straight downloaded it. I didn't even try to make, well, I did. I tried to make it a PowerPoint and it didn't want to play, so.
We got here late, what is your name again, sir?
Oh, I'm John Jordan.